And we're live. Boom. Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever episode of the Ultimate Fighting Podcast, where we talk about all things fighting, UFC, boxing, anything like that. I'm joined with my co-host today, Max. How are you today, Max?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I just had my breakfast. What did you have for breakfast?
I had 2 crumpets. What did you have for breakfast?
Crumpets are absolute chaos. I had these Cocoa Pop Rocks, they're called. Like, they're normally really expensive when they're on offer, so I was like, I'm getting a box immediately.
Get one of those. You're right.
They're so good. Anyway, talk about last night's events. What an incredible fight. Max Holloway versus KATTAR. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, in my opinion, I think that was one of the best forms of Max Holloway we have seen in a long time. I'm not good. He was brilliant in that fight.
He was absolutely sensational, but
Barely got hit.
hats off to KATTAR. Like,
oh yeah,
I get wobbled from standing up too quickly. Let alone taking the beating he got in that fourth round and third round.
The round could have, or the whole fight could have been over at the end of round 2. It was saved by the bell there.
Well, I think Herb Dean was about to step in, and then the bell went, and he stepped in to stop Max from carrying on punching him after the bell.
He got hit with a head kick, and then a rock towards the fence, and then the round ended.
The fact that he was there talking to the commentary, not even looking at the punches coming towards him, and just dodging every single one. Who does that?
There's nobody I've seen that's done that. That's never happened in UFC before.
It's just mental.
It's insane. I think he was shouting that he's the best boxer to Daniel Cormier as well.
Yeah, and then he put a post on his Instagram story this morning of like Max Holloway versus Cormier. But then the UFC tweeted a video of it and a comment saying, "I'm the best boxer," from what Holloway said, and McGregor replied with just "lol."
Yeah.
I wonder if that would be an interesting fight. I think.
I mean, well, after in the Octagon interview, he said that he's ready to fight Poirier or McGregor again.
He said if one of them backs out or gets injured, he will step in next week.
That does be insane.
Could you imagine if one of them pulls out and he steps in 1 week after fighting whoever's ranked number 6, and then just fighting 1 week later?
When it comes to McGregor, right, I don't know if he'd beat him, because I'm going to wait until I see McGregor fight first. Obviously, he hasn't fought since like Cerrone. It was like last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally January 13th, 2018.
2019, yeah, so 2020. I'm going to wait until I've seen him fight.
Because I think this is the best we've seen McGregor. It's like physically wise. I've seen the pictures he's put on his page. Like, he's looking mental. He's looking like a welterweight / middleweight, but fighting at lightweight.
Crazy.
But yeah, Holloway, he needs to get that belt back. I know we got Volkanovski versus Ortega. Who takes that one? Yeah. That's an interesting fight. Ortega being ranked number 2 in the world, and Volkanovski being champion. Because I saw Ortega's fight versus Korean Zombie, and that he was really good.
Oh yeah, he was really good in that fight.
So yeah, but Volkanovski, in my opinion, he's a wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's a technical fighter, but he's not like some of the other champions we've got that have serious knockout power.
No.
But that would be an interesting fight, because I know Holloway is shaped up to fight the winner of that fight for the championship belt. And I think if he fights like that, he beats Volkanovski, in my opinion.
I think easily. I mean, 80 to 90% of people thought that he won the first fight.
I'd say he won the first fight. The second fight, don't really know, but would the second fight have even happened if he won the first fight? Probably not.
Probably not.
Definitely not, actually. I don't think it would have happened, but that was just insane last night. I was sat there going, if he fights Volkanovski like this, he wins, hands down.
Easily.
Hands down. But that swiftly leads us on to the events of next week, January 23rd, Dustin versus McGregor 2. What we think?
So excited.
I can't wait. I can't believe they're making it pay-per-view just because it's McGregor. Like BT Sport, we're in the UK.
Yeah,
but, for 20 quid, I'll fucking pay it. Like, absolutely. In a heartbeat.
It's just, they both improved so much as fighters. It's going to be so fun to see them fight again.
like Dustin, the people he's beat since losing to McGregor.
Oh yeah.
Just like name a few, like Daniel Hooker, Holloway. Obviously, he lost to Habib.
Yeah.
Beat Eddie Alvarez. Beat Gaethje in 2018. Beat Anthony Pettis.
He's just beat the best of the best.
So I think going forward, he's gonna be a problem. But like McGregor said, he said Poirier is great, but great is levels below me, and that's confidence in its own form.
I mean, McGregor's looking like just so healthy right now.
He's looking great,
mentally and physically.
Like after hearing what Dana White had to say on the Stephen A show, he's saying like he wants to fight 2-3 times this year, and I'd love to see that. Like that'd be incredible. I want to see him fight at welterweight. I think he looked so good against Cerrone at welterweight, but I think he will stay at lightweight and go for the title.
Probably would, yeah.
Because if he beats Poirier, he's then shaped up to probably fight the winner of Hooker versus Chandler.
He said that he'd be happy to fight one of those.
But then there's so many fights you could team him up with, even like Nelson Oliveira. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
Would he win it? Don't know. He has beaten wrestlers in the past, and it is not a known fact that McGregor has one of the best takedown defenses in the sport.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of fights that I'd like, but then there's talks of him fighting Diaz again, and Diaz fighting at lightweight.
Yeah.
So that I could see McGregor fighting 6-7 times if he could this year, if he was allowed to.
Honestly, I'd be so happy with that.
Think about it. If he beats Dustin, he could fight the winner of Chandler versus Hooker. He'd then fight Habib again, or Diaz, or even if he moves up to welterweight, and Jorge Masvidal was calling him out not so long ago.
Or maybe they could get him and Holloway to actually fight again, like Holloway wanted.
I'd like to see that. But if Holloway fights like that, and he doesn't get clipped by McGregor, obviously, like, it showed Qatar hit him with some big shots, huge shots.
Oh yeah.
Like, and he just didn't even get faced. Didn't even he noticed one of them because I think it poked him in the eye, but he was just carried on, like it didn't even hit him.
Yeah, he didn't stop the fight or anything.
It's something like I've never seen something like that before, and if that gets fight of the year, it wouldn't surprise me. He has set the bar really high for 2021.
I'm excited for fighting this year.
Dustin. I think he seems confident, but McGregor seems way more confident. Like, he said he's going to knock him out in 60 seconds.
McGregor's always confident. That's the best thing. That's probably why he wins a lot of his fights, because he's always so confident in himself.
Come on, what he was saying, like, I have so many chains on me, but as soon as I step in the octagon, all that comes off and I feel free.
Yeah.
As soon as that's why he lost to Habib. He even admitted himself. He said, I was drinking the night before.
Get the best of him.
I don't even think it was. I think he was just. He even said himself he was drinking so much before the fight. I think he just got there and he was like, I just can't be bothered to be here. He's probably hungover.
I think if they did have a second fight and McGregor fights like he used to, like bouncing around the cage, being unpredictable, I think he has a lot bigger chance of beating him.
Well, he says he's got the secret to beating that man, to destroying that man, he said. But 29 people have tried and 29 people have failed. Him being one of them.
Yeah.
So I'd happy.
Beat the best of the best.
And dominated the best of the best. Not just beating them, dominated them. I don't know. I think I'd like to see Habib come back, fight someone like Ferguson, get that fight, because that's been stopped, cancelled 5 times now.
Oh yeah, I just want that fight to happen at this point.
But is Ferguson past his best? As we didn't, he wasn't great against Oliveira, at all, or against Gaethje for that matter.
No, I don't know. He just hasn't been fighting how he used to.
I think he's a shadow of his former self, which
makes
sad.
Me think that his career is very close to being over, which I hate to say.
I do hate to say. He's a legend, absolute legend of the sport.
He's a legend.
Absolute legend.
It's just sad to see.
But let's say it now. What's your prediction for Poirier versus McGregor?
I'm gonna go for McGregor.
I'm gonna say McGregor first round knockout.
Yeah, I mean he wants to again.
What I said from this when they first announced this fight, I said Dustin needs to win this fight by losing the first 2 rounds, tiring McGregor out, and then taking round 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Tire him out because everyone knows McGregor hasn't got a tank after round 2. So if you take a few hits in round 1 and 2, and then round 3, 4, and 5, just attack. You don't have to necessarily knock him out. Win on points. I don't think Poirier's knocking McGregor out. Well, he's never been knocked out. He's only ever been submitted, McGregor.
I mean, nobody's ever knocked McGregor out.
So I think that's how Dustin wins the fight. So in my opinion, if this fight goes past 2 rounds, it's Dustin's fight to lose. But if McGregor doesn't finish his fight within round 1 or 2, then I know that they'll be interesting from there. But I think McGregor will do it in the first round. I reckon within about around the 4-minute mark, he's going to clip him right on the chin, and that'll be it. Lights out.
Yeah. He's done it before.
He's done it loads of times. He's proven himself loads of times, and
yeah.
I think it'll be a great fight. But leading that on, same night, Hooker versus Chandler. Chandler's UFC debut.
I think that's going to be a brilliant fight.
I think it's got to be. I think he's got to step up to the plate. Even
before Chandler came into the UFC, he was talking about fighting Ferguson.
Talk about fighting Ferguson. I think he mentioned McGregor. He was doing not commentary. He was doing like punditry on the last. I think it was like the December UFC event. And he was talking. Then he wanted to fight people like McGregor and all that stuff. Which I've never seen him fight. I've never watched any of his fights. I don't know how good. Yeah, I know I'm virtually confident he was lightweight champion in Bellator, but I could be wrong with that fact. I think he was. So I don't know what to expect. Obviously, we've seen Dan Hooker fight so many times. Yeah, he lost to Poirier, but did you see him in that Poirier fight?
He took a beating.
But he also gave one. Like, he was great.
It looks like probably one of the best matchups for Poirier that we've seen.
But then he said in an interview, Dan Hooker, he said, someone asked him, well, what do you think about Chandler? What do you think is going to happen? He goes, yeah, I've seen people like him before. He's a journeyman. I'm just going to pick him apart. I do think that's what's going to happen. I'm backing Dan Hooker in this fight.
I think I'm probably I might watch some of Chandler's highlights and then I'll think about it.
I do need to watch some, but we know how good Dan Hooker is.
Oh, Dan Hooker's incredible.
But recently announced is finally, hopefully it still goes ahead. It's been cancelled 2 times. Usman versus Gilbert Burns, UFC 258 in February.
Been waiting for this for quite a while.
Usman has the longest active win streak in the UFC at the moment. I think it's like 12 or 13 or something like that.
Usman's just so good.
He's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And his story is incredible. Like, he started off like sofa surfing to be able to afford to fight, and then he met Rashad Evans, and he was like, "Yeah, just stay on my sofa and I'll train you." And a few years later, he's a welterweight champion and one of the best welterweights we've ever seen.
Crazy. I think he's got this fight.
Yeah, I think he'll win this fight. I don't see Gilbert Burns being too much of a problem for him.
I know that Colby Covington wants to fight Usman again. But
I'm not interested in that fight. Colby Covington's really fallen off the radar as of recent, and he's just kind of like
him, if I'm being honest.
No, but I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was saying how it's all such an act, like the cheap suits, and it's all a persona. Because he was on the verge of being booted out of the UFC.
Yeah.
Because he was boring. His fight style was boring. He was a boring person. So he thought, I've got to change something up. So he used to wear really expensive suits. So he started turning up in like $15 suits and just acting like a complete idiot.
I know that there's talks of him and Masvidal fighting, but I'm not sure because Masvidal said that he's not interested.
I think you should fight him because they've got this bad blood. Maybe they used to be training partners.
They used to be like best mates as well.
So
because I'm pretty sure Colby used to live with Masvidal.
Yeah, he let him stay on a sofa or something like that.
Yeah.
So that would be an interesting matchup.
Apparently, Covington like ripped off his trainers as well.
I can believe it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fighters in UFC that like it.
I think we need a Usman versus Masvidal too, personally.
Yeah.
I think that has to happen this year. A proper training camp, not
because they both
6
said
days
they wanted
notice.
to do it.
I think Usman knew he didn't win that fight properly.
I don't know how it took so long for Masvidal to get a championship fight though.
The worst part is that it only came off the back of Usman testing positive for COVID.
Yeah.
So, not Usman, Gilbert Burns tested positive for COVID. So, he wouldn't have even have got it if it weren't for that.
I think he deserved a title shot a long time ago.
Probably. Well, no, definitely. But he has this whole thing at the resurrection. He was doing some sort of show for the UFC, and he sat there thinking, this isn't me. So he basically got his arse in the gear and stepped up and started beating people left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I know that he wants to fight Diaz again as well.
Put the BMF on the line. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But Usman was saying if he ever had the chance to fight for the BMF belt and he won, he'd get it and throw it in his closet. He's not interesting to him. He said it's pathetic.
They did make that just for Diaz and Masvidal.
Well, it even says Diaz versus Masvidal on it. But I think his point was it was only made because the UFC were panicked, because at that night there was meant to be a championship fight, but then it didn't happen. So they needed to they made this pretend belt that's not even made of gold. It's like silvery bronze. Yeah. So he just thinks it's pathetic. So he said if he ever won it, I'd just throw it in my closet, which I thought was brilliant. But no, that would I'd love to see that belt go back on the line in that fight. I'd love to see just any one of the Diaz brothers come back. Weird Nate just kind of disappeared off the radar.
Well, Nate tweeted about Khabib yesterday.
What did he say? I didn't see that.
He called Khabib. Pretty much said that he's scared, to be honest.
That's what Conor said in his interview with I can never Ariel Helwani. He said he said, do you think Khabib retired because he's scared? He goes, he's definitely scared of me, but there's so much more to give in that division. You know, he said the Fergusons, the Oliveras, he ran because he was scared of them. And you know what? I can believe it. I can believe that. I don't think he would do that because he had a lot of family issues at the time. And he said as you heard yesterday, Dana White announced that Khabib said, if you show me something amazing next week, then I'll come back.
He also said that Khabib said he was interested in Oliveira, which would be a brilliant fight. I would love to see that.
I'd like to see that, but I think Oliveira needs to beat a few more big names first.
Yeah. Maybe
Oliveira versus Gaethje would be an interesting matchup.
Oh, that would be a good fight. I want to see McGregor versus Gaethje.
He's acting all like Billy Big Bollocks. Oh yeah, I don't want to fight him. He's not interested. That's not true. Yeah. That's not true.
He was calling out McGregor ages ago, before he even was properly in the UFC.
But we all know it. It's an obvious thing that he said he's in it for the money. Gaethje's only in it for money so he can support his family, which is fair enough. If you want to support your family, then great. And that you want to sit there and say, I'm not interested in fighting McGregor. Well, hang on a sec, pal. If you want the money, he's the man you've got to fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's that.
He'll get you the most money.
As McGregor said, that's red panties night. You know? That's the multi-million-dollar paycheck, that fight. And if you're that naive to say, oh, yeah, I'm in it for the money, but I don't want to fight even if you lose, you're getting a fat paycheck, even if you lose.
Oh, yeah.
So...
I mean... Chad Mendes, he got $500,000 for his fight, and he lost.
I think Cerrone got a similar amount, and he got knocked down in 40 seconds.
It's crazy how much that they get from just fighting McGregor and even losing.
Because obviously you get X amount from the UFC, and you'll get X amount from the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So yeah, we keep going off topic. So anyway, yeah, Usman Burns. Who takes the win?
I'm saying Usman.
Usman via submission, I say. I think he's going to get, in my opinion, round 3, rear neck choke. I think he's going to choke him out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because Usman said he's been wrestling since he was 10.
Usman's a brilliant wrestler.
Yeah, I think that's an easy fight for him. So I think that's a... I wish he would... I will still watch it, but I wish that event... I hope they have a decent undercard that night. Because at the moment, all they've got is that fight and I think a women's bout.
Nothing that's really been.
But as we've been speaking so much about McGregor, How do you feel about Jake Paul? And
Oh my god, I, he's just embarrassing himself at this point. To be honest,
it's
the
weird.
fact that he keeps saying stuff and McGregor keeps ignoring him and he just keeps going.
Oh, someone told me that he DM'd McGregor and he just literally read it, like he opened it and just ignored it, like just flat out ignored him.
I mean, when he got asked about Jake Paul in the interview, he just said about fires and that's it, and just
Yeah,
didn't say
he
anything
said
about Jake
someone
Paul.
asked him, "So do you think it's embarrassing?" To be fair to McGregor, he said, "You know what? Anyone who gets in the ring, I can respect because it's not easy to do." And he just kind of, literally, it's like he didn't even know Jake Paul's been saying this stuff about him.
Glossed over Jake Paul.
Like I can't remember his name. The guy McGregor was training with, and Jake Paul like ripped into him. No, it's another guy. The guy I've sent you the video. He's in a Lamborghini, and he's like, "Jake, I'd literally rip your head off. We're not the same." And he's one of McGregor's sparring partners. And he's like, "We're not the same, you and me." He goes, "Oh yeah, you idiot. Does it look like I'm in Dublin training?" And he shows himself he's in a brand new Lamborghini with some amazing strip in front of him. He's like, "You're an idiot." So he said, "I'll come to Las Vegas tomorrow, whenever, and we'll fight Bulldog rules," which I don't know what that means. I know that's just me being naive, but I'd love to see him, because anyone who's a trained boxer will beat Jake Paul. That's a fact.
I mean, he called out Mike Bisping. Mike Bisping accepted. He just didn't reply. Nate Diaz, he called out Nate Diaz as well.
So Ben Askren was going to fight him. He probably would beat Ben Askren because Ben Askren isn't a boxer, isn't a fighter. He's a wrestler.
Yeah. And if they're doing boxing, it's not going to go too well.
Then he ran away from that fight as well. So I think
ran away from Nunes because apparently she's not popular enough. Pretty sure more people know about her than him.
I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. Amanda Nunes has more followers, like double the amount of followers as Ben Askren.
Oh yeah.
So you want?
Dana White literally said she would put him in a coma.
Like, you want to talk about she's not relevant enough, but you were going to fight Ben Askren, a man who's been retired for so long, and last time we heard of him, he was getting knocked out in 3 seconds.
Pretty much.
Talk about irrelevancy.
That's what he was famous for. To be honest, that's how I found out about him.
He's a clown, and I think he just needs a fight. Do you know what? If he wants, because I know he's selling his mansion, he's put out for like $7 million, which is ridiculous. And if he generally wants to move away from LA, move to like Vegas, where you can have the most best fighting camps, and he wants to take this boxing career seriously, then yeah, absolutely he could get a fight with McGregor. But you got to beat 20 people, actual fighters, before you start calling out people like McGregor and all the names you're calling out. You've got to work your way there. You can't have 3 fights, 2 against YouTubers, 1 against an NBA player, and then expect to fight the best in the world. That's not how this game works.
It's stupid. And it makes it more embarrassing for him because he's calling out McGregor for like a boxing match. But then McGregor said, like, literally the other day that later this year he wants to get a title shot against Manny Pacquiao. And he wants to get a boxing title.
But he's earned his way to be able to fight Manny Pacquiao.
Oh yeah, Jake Paul's done nothing.
But worst part is, I don't think McGregor should be fighting Pacquiao right now. I think he should have another boxing match against a good fighter, then maybe go, because Pacquiao's been retired for so long now. He's not an active fighter. So why go after someone who hasn't been boxed? Yeah, he probably still I think Pacquiao beat McGregor personally.
Oh,
Pacquiao's insane. His punching power and his punching speed is ridiculous. But he did hold himself up against Mayweather, so. But, speaking of Mayweather, we got next month, I think it's literally about a month's time, February 22nd, I think, Logan Paul is somehow fighting Mayweather.
I don't know how he's done it. He's 0-1 in his professional boxing career and he's fighting Floyd Mayweather.
And he's not even getting a lot for it.
And then there's Jake Paul, who's like 2-0 in his professional boxing career and can't even get a proper fighter to fight.
But it says here, Mayweather is guaranteed £3.6 million plus 50% of all pay-per-view sales. So he's going to earn between 5 and 10 million that night, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is a hell of a lot of money. Logan is probably going to last 10 seconds and get embarrassed. Is getting paid £156,000 and only 5% of pay-per-views. So he's maximum going to be earning between 5 and 1 million. 500,000 and 1 million.
That's quite stupid, to be honest, compared to
Like,
what Mayweather's getting.
It's a lot of money. Like, if someone offered me that sort of money,
Oh, yeah.
I'd bend over backwards to get it. I'd do anything. I'd fight Mayweather for 500 grand, or even for 100 grand. I'd fight Mayweather. But when you're so rich, as he is, you put $1 million into his bank account right now, he wouldn't even notice it came in.
No, literally wouldn't.
Like, by the time you've picked up your phone and sent him that money, he's earned that much in interest with the money he's already got in his bank account.
Easily. He's so insanely rich.
So, you know what? If he goes into this fight and he lasts even 2 rounds and he gets knocked out Sparko, I don't think people will make a meme of him and make a joke of him. He will. No. I'll be. You know what, mate? Fair play.
Do you think he'll knock him out?
I think Mayweather will knock him out. Yeah. Or at least his corner will throw in the towel like McGregor's corner did.
I'm thinking it will probably be a TKO.
Yeah. So the fight will get waved off. Or, like against McGregor. But you know what? If he goes in there and he gives it everything he's got, then you know what, mate? Fair enough. If you go in, if you're willing to try, I don't think anyone can laugh and make a joke of you, because 90% of the people on this world will not get in that ring with that man.
Oh no.
50-0. 50-0. Technically 51.
51.
Technically 51, but that his 51st win was a joke, but I'm worried for Logan because he seems to be coming out of that phase of, like, Jake Paul's kind of in that phase, and he's kind of coming to the other side of that obnoxious, arrogant phase.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think his podcast is nice. I don't watch it personally, but I've seen clips. It's funny. So I think he's coming out of that.
I think
phase.
He kind of got humbled when he fought KSI, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's what Jake Paul needs.
When he had his hand up at the end.
That was brilliant. I think that's what Jake Paul needs. I'd love them to see a fight, because even Jake Paul said he'd like to fight Ryan Garcia because they've had that history for so long.
Ryan Garcia called him out and he said no.
I don't get it.
He replied to Ryan Garcia saying that he doesn't want Ryan Garcia's first loss to be from a YouTuber, and then runs away from the fight. Even though Garcia literally came to his house and confronted him. Yeah,
it's... The kid's an idiot.
I don't understand it, to be honest.
Like I said, if he wants to sit there and he wants to move away from Los Angeles and really make an effort at this, start off at the bottom. Start being amateur boxers, work your way in to a good event, and work your way up to fighting decent fighters. You
can't fight one person and expect to fight like the best of the best.
No, you can't. That's not how... But then he's sat there going, I've just come off the 7th most pay-per-viewed event. Yeah, you did.
That's because Mike Tyson was on it.
Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., 2 of the most legendary fighters in the sport, were fighting for the first time in God knows how many years.
That's the only reason he got so much money. It wasn't because of him.
I didn't even know he was on the card. I didn't even realise until the next day I didn't watch the fight.
I didn't even know he was on it.
And I was like, oh, okay, didn't realise. But
where did you come from?
You did not sell out. You were not you probably sold about 10 of those million pay-per-views. Because most people would probably watch your fight illegally.
Most likely.
Or only wanted to watch it to see him get knocked out.
I wouldn't have even bothered to watch his fight illegally, to be honest.
No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But I'd like if he wants to put his mind to it and actually go after it, then yeah, you know what, fair play. But if you're just going to be an arrogant twit, to say the least, then not interested. You're going to get humbled pretty quickly, and we can now move on. Speaking of boxing, now we're on that topic.
Yeah.
We got AJ versus Fury. The Gypsy King posted on Instagram. I can't wait. You big stiff idiot. Oh. Which I thought was I'm going to get it now.
I think Tyson Fury actually probably does have a very big chance of beating AJ.
Of course he does. I think Tyson Fury is the best ever to do it.
Yeah. I think he's got it. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, Tyson Fury, he's literally my idol. Like, his story is incredible. Like, his
story's amazing.
He won the title against beating Vladimir Klitschko, which he wanted to do his whole life. He said
Isn't it like Klitschko, the first time he's lost in I don't even know how
like 14 years.
14
He said
years.
when Tyson Fury was 13, he said to Klitschko, "I will beat you one day." Klitschko went, "Yeah, whatever." He got that opportunity in 2014 in Germany, and he did it in an amazing way. He got the titles, and he was like, he got really depressed because that's it. Everything he ever worked towards is now done. He's got it. He got really depressed. He was suicidal. He got really overweight, 300 pounds. He then got called out by Deontay Wilder. The man at the time was 41-0 with 40 knockouts.
Doesn't he like have one of the most powerful punches in boxing?
The most powerful punch we've ever seen. Like, most people get knocked out by getting clipped on the chin. He hit Ortiz in the forehead and knocked him out. Who does that? And he's not even a big bloke. He's skinny.
That's terrifying.
He's skinny and he's got that. That's genetic power. He was born with that. For Fury to come back, he had like 2 small fights which he won comfortably.
Yeah.
To then come back and get knocked out, literally knocked out.
Yeah, he was out cold.
In the 12th round, and somehow muster up, not only to get back up on 9, to then probably and arguably go on and win that final round. To then draw that fight, go back, and then beat him. Beat the man who was 40 knockouts out of 41 and never lost.
He was literally undefeated.
Like, neither was Tyson, but not 40 knockouts and 1 decision.
Oh, no.
That's insane. To be able to come back from that state of mind he was in to be where he is now. And that is a story people can really, really not relate to, but like
it's
push
inspiring.
people. It is inspiring. That's the word I was looking for. It's absolutely incredible. Like, Tyson Fury put up a thing of all the stats, and it's so even. Like, you got age, Tyson 32, Joshua 31, Fury fights 31, Joshua 25, wins 30, Joshua 24, losses 0, losses 1 for obviously Joshua against Ruiz.
Yeah.
One draw for Fury, 0 draws for Joshua, 21 knockouts to 22. So Tyson Fury being a massive 6'9", Joshua being 6'6", both weighing very similar amounts. And obviously, you've got all belts online. You've got the WBC Ring Magazine, the WBA, IBF, and the WBO. Why you need 5 titles for one heavyweight division is just ridiculous. Both fighting orthodox.
So excited.
Eddie Hearn tweeted that nothing's been put pen to paper, but he said it's pretty much confirmed. Like, this fight will happen this year.
I mean, they're both saying they want it to happen.
But I thought he had to fight Wilder for a 3rd time.
Yeah, because I thought Wilder said they wanted another fight, because apparently his walkout gear was too heavy. That's what he lost.
What a load of rubbish. Bearing in mind, he walked out with the same gear in the first fight.
Yeah.
I love it. There's a video. Wilder knocks, when he knocked him down, and he's knocked out, he's like dancing, like blowing kisses to the crowd. He's looking out, he's like celebrating, he turns around and his face just drops as he sees Tyson Fury stand up. He's like,
yeah.
What?
He was literally out cold as well.
What did I just witness?
It's scary, to be honest.
He says hashtag big stiff idiot, hashtag big dosser. He likes that word, dosser. So I think that fight.
He's such a good fighter.
I think that's a typical. Tyson Fury said that's my bread and butter, that fight. Like, he's literally my ideal fighter. If I could pick someone I could fight against, that is him. And how I know exactly how to beat him. I know exactly how to finish him. So that fight will be too easy. But Joshua, he's going to need to really step up to the plate if he's going to beat Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah. It's going to be such a good fight, though. I'm really excited for that fight. Whenever it happens.
I can't wait. I literally can't.
Why?
I want him to fight Wilder again because I think it's in their contract they have to fight again, so I don't know why they're actually talking about Fury fighting someone else, but I'm virtually confident there was a 3rd fight in the contract. So that'll be interesting to see unless Wilder's injured or something like that.
Yeah.
If Fury wins, he's going to have every single belt for the heavyweight division.
Literally every single one.
Every single one.
It's going to prove that he is the best heavyweight boxer in the
But
world.
what worries me is the reason he got so depressed after Klitschko is because there was nothing after that. He had nothing more to work towards. So after he beats AJ, what then?
Yeah. See, that's the scary thing.
And I know he was in the WWE. I don't see him going to WWE because it's obviously all very not scripted. Like he's a competitor.
Was he talking about going to the UFC?
That's yeah. He wants to go fight in the UFC.
I don't know how he'd do in the UFC.
Well, he's been punched by Deontay Wilder. So I don't think there's anyone in the UFC that can hit harder or kick harder than Deontay Wilder can punch.
I wonder if Francis Ngannou can punch as hard as Wilder.
Well, there is talks of Francis Ngannou did say he wants to try boxing.
I know that he was going to do boxing at first, but his trainer was just like, no, do UFC because you'll get more money for it and you'll get it a lot quicker.
Oh yeah, I can believe that as well. So he did say he wants to try boxing, but we got potentially Miocic versus Ngannou 2.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
The winner of that fight will fight probably John Jones for the title.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Ngannou, Miocic, or John Jones versus Tyson Fury in a UFC cage?
That would be brilliant.
That would be insane. Like, how would Tyson Fury?
John Jones looks terrifying right now as well.
Oh, he's massive. He literally. I saw him a video of him training, and he's got like full on army gear on, like the bulletproof vest, a lot, and he's just doing pull-ups. And I'm like, I can't even do a pull-up with no clothes on.
He's huge now. It's insane.
So I'm looking forward to. I don't want him to have a title fight straight off the bat. I don't think that's fair. Yeah. You can't just decide to move up until heavyweight. Grant, he was light heavyweight champion for so long. I think he needs to fight. I know Overeem's fighting against Volkov fairly soon, but I think Overeem would be a really good matchup.
I think that's
next. I think it's February that fight.
Oh, I thought it was.
No, that's
the card of Neil Magny. Yes.
No, I think it's his own card in its own right. But I think Overeem would be a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Rosenstrike would be a good fight for him. What was that?
Overeem said. I remember Overeem saying something that he'd fight John.
Yeah, he said he'd fight him. But I think Rosenstrike, another fantastic matchup.
Oh yeah.
Curtis Blades, and Curtis Blades actually fighting Derek Lewis, which again another incredible fight. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Oh yeah.
But even fighting someone like Junior Dos Santos, yeah, I'd like to see him fight Rosenstrike, and the winner, he'll probably beat Rosenstrike or Alistair Overeem, and then he should be able to fight for the title against either Miocic or Ngannou, whoever has it after that second fight.
I don't want him to get a title shot instantly. I don't want him to have one fight or just go straight up to heavyweight and instantly have a title shot.
I think he will.
That's
Unfortunately,
what a lot of other people are getting annoyed at as well.
I think he goes
into a new weight and instantly gets one.
But then you could argue Adesanya literally just out of nowhere decided that he's going to be a light heavyweight and just straight away bang.
That is true against the champion.
He's going to get a title shot. But I think that's going to be a one-off fight. I really do. I think he'll go up to light heavyweight. He'll probably win or lose. Yeah. One or two, obviously. He'll then drop down to middleweight because he's not putting his middleweight title on the line. So he'll always have that middleweight title, win or lose.
Adesanya Jones, that's not going to happen because there's no way Adesanya's going up to heavyweight.
He can get
he's not going back down.
And yeah, John Jones said, I've worked too hard to make it happen. Unless they come to a mutual agreement that they fight of almost like a cruiserweight and say, right, you stay at 205, I think it's 205 heavyweight, and I'll stay at light heavyweight and we'll fight. But I think that's a really unfair advantage on John Jones. Really unfair.
Oh, yeah.
I love how Adesanya has an OnlyFans page. That's great. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. He keeps tweeting about it.
He's brilliant. I ain't paying for it. I don't want to see the content on there. I don't know what's on there. It's just him raw dogging Paulo Costa.
He posts about it on Twitter and talks about his feet and stuff.
Oh, that's weird, man.
He's so weird.
He's fucking weird. He's hilarious. He's great. He's one of the best fighters of all time.
Oh, he's amazing.
So,
I'll search on Twitter what it's actually about.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Sweet,
it'd be concerning if there are nude pictures of him on there.
I hope not.
I don't think there would be, but you never know
Oh,
with him.
I don't think he would do that.
But no, I'm looking forward to him fighting Blachowicz. I think that'd be a great fight.
Oh yeah.
I think he'll win. I think Adesanya will win, 100%. Everyone's saying, oh, Jan Blachowicz has got this incredible power. So did Paulo Costa. And look how that ended.
He just destroyed Paulo Costa.
I think if Jan Blachowicz is going to win, he needs to have the exact same attitude and style he went in with the Dominic Reyes fight. Just be explosive as possible. And just go nuts.
See, that's what scares me because his power is just terrifying.
And is Adesanya going to be able to deal with the added weight? He might be a little bit slower, not as agile. You never know. That's the worrying thing.
I mean, he always manages to pull through and win, no matter who he's against.
No, he's got one of the best training camps in the world. Like, I know Volkanovski trains with them. It's a gym in New Zealand. I forget the name, but it's one of the best gyms, and they've got so many champions. I think Usman does a little bit of training with them as well. So that'll be it's gonna be an interesting fight, to say the least.
Good fight, though. I'm excited for that.
So we're gonna end it now. So we're gonna end it with this question. I'm gonna put it out to everyone listening. If you can put in the comments, if you're on YouTube, if you could make any fight happen in the UFC, who would it be?
I already know what mine would be.
Go
on. I think I know that this is a bit weird, but I'd probably go for GSP against Khabib, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
But the problem, I've always wanted to see that, but I know GSP couldn't be less interested. He even said that Joe Rogan said, I'm done with fighting now. That's it. I've got my money. I've got my life. I've still got my health.
Yeah.
Not interested in fighting. So I don't think that fight would ever happen. I'd love to see it happen because I think GSP would win. He's incredible.
Oh yeah. He's just too good.
If you could make any fight happen with current fighters.
Current fighters. Oh.
As well. So if you
see that. Yeah, I don't actually know, to be honest, because I've always wanted McGregor and Masvidal. Those are two people I've always wanted to fight.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I was thinking, believe it or not.
I was thinking of McGregor Ferguson, but Ferguson's just
past his prime, I think. But no, I think if I can make any fight happen with both men being on a proper training camp, it'd probably be either Conor McGregor versus Masvidal or Conor McGregor versus Usman.
Loads of people were talking about Khabib versus Usman as well.
I think it's just way too far apart, the weight divisions.
Yeah.
Usman even said, I love Khabib, I would never fight him. He's a great guy, I really like him. He's a good bloke, I don't want to fight him.
It's like Cormier and Khabib are like best friends.
Yeah, because Cormier said last night, he said, I don't even know what Khabib's decision is, I want to wait, I want to find out.
Yeah.
I think McGregor Masvidal would probably be the most sold event. If you put a decent undercard, like, I'm trying to think of an example now. Holloway versus like the winner of Brian Ortega versus Volkanovski.
Yeah.
So you have that championship fight, and then the main card of McGregor Masvidal. That will sell. So that will probably be the most sold pay-per-view event in the UFC.
It'd be such a good fight, though.
It'd be insane.
But I swear, like, none of them have been knocked out.
No, neither one of... Masvidal's never been finished. Only submitted or lost on decision. And that's the same with McGregor. But I'm looking at the... I'm looking at the fight card for UFC 259, Blachowicz versus Adesanya. We've got Jan Blachowicz versus Adesanya, obviously, at 205. Amanda Nunes is fighting for her championship belt against Megan Anderson. There's also Dominic Cruz is fighting again, which would be a great fight to see after him losing against Cejudo.
Who's he fighting?
A guy called Casey Kennedy. Casey Kenny. There we go, get there in the end.
Got there in the end.
Then we got Peter Yan putting up his bantamweight championship against Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
So
he beat Aldo. He's going to beat Aldo, isn't he?
I think everyone's beating Aldo at this point.
I think so.
Yeah, Peter Yan beat Aldo for the title.
He destroyed Aldo.
But even then, we've got Kai Kara France, a really good flyweight, promising flyweight, and we've also got Jake Matthews, a really good welterweight, on the undercards as well.
Sounds like it's going to be a good night.
There's also Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic, the light heavyweight.
Sounds like there's going to be quite a lot of good fights that night.
I think it's that's when is that? March? No, that's Saturday, March the 3rd. No, 6th. Sorry, Saturday, March the 6th. Adesanya versus.
Be happy to watch that.
I'll be watching. Hopefully, we're out of lockdown and we can arrange something.
Yeah.
To do something, but I highly doubt it. So we're going to end this podcast here. I hope everyone enjoyed. There will be one of these, hopefully, fingers crossed, one a week at the moment while we can do stuff remotely, or maybe one every 2 weeks. We'll have to see how we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you all later.
See you later.